Conroe, Texas is one of the fastest growing cities in the entire nation, more than doubling in the last 10 years, and it doesn't look like it's going to let up anytime soon. Now, with all that population growth, there's a lot of places to choose from to live, but which neighborhoods are the best? It's a matter of debate, but in this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 neighborhoods in the city of Conroe, Texas. Stay tuned. Greetings, brothers and sisters of the YouTube. I'm Jeff with Jeff West Properties, your host for the Conroe Living Channel, where I identify and celebrate everything that makes Conroe one of the greatest places to call home. Now, I'm not going to ask you to smash that like button because I don't want you to hurt your finger or your computer, but I would appreciate it if you would gently press it. Press the like button, the subscribe button. This is a brand new channel and I would really appreciate your support. Also, make sure to click on that notifications bell. You'll be notified every time I put out new content that highlights this great city that so many people are starting to call home. Now, as I stated at the top of this video, the best neighborhoods are going to be a matter of opinion, with the places that people live probably being their favorites. But what I did in this video is I compiled my top 5 list based on a series of factors like location, quality of life, quality of housing, amenities, and based on that, these 5 neighborhoods that I've chosen get high marks across the board. I would live in every single one of these neighborhoods, but I don't want to move that much. Anyway, let's get started. Some of these neighborhoods are established communities, some of them are fairly new, and some of them are up and coming with some amazing plans for the future. So, in no particular order, here are my top 5 communities in the city of Conroe, Texas. First up, let's check out the neighborhood of Harper's Preserve. Harper's Preserve is located a couple of miles off of I-45 on Highway 242. It's a community that is made up of 3 sections, or villages as they're called: the East Village, West Village, and South Village. There's a community lake that binds the 3 villages together. In the East Village, you have the pedestrian bridge that goes across the lake, as well as places where you can fly fish. You also have a bunch of playgrounds and natural play areas. There are several other amenities that are going to be planned for the future as well. The South Village is where you find the rec center and the community pool with a splash pad for the kiddos. It also has a pavilion for events, as well as several play areas and hiking trails. There are miles of trails running throughout the entire community. In the West Village, you'll find another community pool as well as the pool barn. It also has probably my favorite amenity feature in the community, which is Lookout Hill. Lookout Hill has several natural boulders that the kids can climb on. I think the reason I like that so much is when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of safety features in our playgrounds. They were more like military obstacle courses that you didn't leave without having at least a few bumps and bruises and scrapes and the occasional broken arm. So I like that there's something rugged for the kids. Now, mom and dad, don't worry, it's completely safe, and it's a really cool, unique feature of the place. Harper's Preserve surrounds a huge forest, which is a nature reserve. So sightings of deer and other woodland creatures are pretty common. It also has its own dedicated elementary school, Suchma Elementary. Houses in the area start in the low 300s and they go all the way up to the low millions. The lots are anywhere from 40 to 80 feet wide, and it's probably better just to show you a list of builders since there are so many to choose from. You can, of course, build your own custom home there as well, as long as it meets community approval. Next up on our list of communities is the neighborhood of Artavia. Now, I will tell you it's pronounced Artavia and not Artavia, as I mispronounced it for the first 6 months of its existence. I sounded dumb so that you don't have to. You're welcome. The community slogan is "Live Colorfully," and when you see it, you'll understand why. Artavia isn't just a community with art, it's a community of art. Its art installations are spread throughout the community along the hiking trails, and they've got names like Nature's Window, Leaning Trees, and Moongate, which aren't nearly as hippie as they sound. Although, they are great spots to stop and contemplate life's mysteries while snacking on granola, if that's your thing. As far as the community amenities go, you've got Dapple Park, which is kind of the heart of the neighborhood. It surrounds a 5-acre community lake, and it features trails, playgrounds, meditation areas, a splash pad for the kids, and the amenity center where you can actually rent paddle boats on the lake. It also houses the fitness center and the Pilates Cafe, which is a great little meetup spot. It's got the typical small cafe fare with salads, sandwiches, and small plates, but your kids will absolutely love this place. It's got drink selections like gummy bear ginger ale, cotton candy topped lemonade, and desserts like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which has chocolate ice cream, whipped cream, berry sauce, chocolate covered banana slices, candied almonds, brownie bits, chocolate wafers, and I think I just got diabetes. Seriously though, bring a friend or two. There are also tons of events to allow you to get to know some of your neighbors. Now, the builder's model homes are all centered in one area, so you can compare them and decide what really feels like home to you. They build on lots from 45 to 70 feet, and the houses start in the mid 300s and go to just under $1 million. Next up on our community tour is Grand Central Park. Now, the first two neighborhoods that I mentioned are about as far south as you can go in Conroe, but Grand Central Park is just what the name implies. It's central, and it's grand. This place is huge, 2,046 acres to be exact. It sits on the South Loop right off of I-45. I grew up right across the freeway from here, and when I was growing up, this was actually my Boy Scout camp. The land sat unused for a long period of time before Johnson Development Company ultimately turned it into what we have today, Grand Central Park. Johnson Development has a really big presence in Texas, with more top-selling award-winning communities in Texas than any other developer in the nation. Just like Harper's Preserve, Grand Central Park backs up to nature, as well as having nature weaving throughout the neighborhood. One thing that the greater Houston area isn't really known for is natural scenery. But living here in a forest among the pines and the lakes, it really is a pretty beautiful place to live. One thing all of these communities have in common is their dedication to accommodating healthy lifestyles. And like the others, Grand Central Park has miles of hiking trails, a fitness center, Twilight Park where you can work the fitness trail while your kids play, and even places for man's best friend to get a workout. Dogs care about their health too. I mean, they really don't, they just like to chase stuff, but you care about their health, and the dog park does count as a workout. The heart of the community of Grand Central Park is the lake house, where the pool and fitness center are, as well as another playground, event lawn, and a covered pavilion for events. Now, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this section. On the one hand, it's really beautiful, but on the other hand, it seems to hate my drone. There are tons of beautiful homes in this neighborhood, with more on the way, with some of the best names in the housing industry continuing to add to the landscape. If you'd like to see some of their handiwork, you can check out some of my property tours on this channel. Prices start in the high 200s to the mid 700s. There's the option of townhomes all the way up to homes on 65-foot lots. Next up on our best communities is Woodforest. Now, technically, Woodforest isn't in Conroe. Conroe is a huge place. It's got 73 square miles, and a lot of it has been undeveloped until recently. But as more development is moving out, some of the other communities as well are pushing towards Conroe. So Woodforest is right on that border, but technically it's in Montgomery, and it's zoned to Montgomery school districts. Woodforest is another Johnson development, and it's been around for about 15 years now. You're basically at the doorstep of both Lake Conroe and easy access to the back of the Woodlands. Now, about the neighborhood. Miles of hiking trails? Check. Open areas for recreation? Check. Parks? Check. Community pool? Oh yeah. At Forest Island, you'll find something a little more than a community pool, but less than a full-blown water park. In the same complex, you also have tennis courts and basketball courts, so it's a great recreation area. Now, there's one thing that Woodforest has that the other communities I've mentioned so far does not have, and that is the Woodforest Golf Club. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about golf. My experience with golf growing up, I lived on a golf course, but my friends and I, we would hide in the woods while other people golfed, and then once they teed off, we would run out onto the fairway and steal their balls and then run back into the woods. And then later we would set up a stand and sell those golf balls back to the golfers. See, this is what happens when you're raised with playgrounds that are more like military obstacle courses. It creates delinquents, just saying. I do know that the Woodforest Golf Club is one of the most acclaimed courses in the entire state, and it was developed by PGA great Steve Elkington.
Hello.
Which I hear is kind of a big deal. When Woodforest was developed many years ago, the downside to living there was you were kind of far from all of your staples and amenities. But part of the master plan was to devote 90 acres to commercial space. So even though there is more still to be developed, you now have restaurants, pharmacies, physicians, you have your own grocery store, the Pine Market, and there's more to come. As far as housing goes, you've got some homes that are about 15 years old now, but you still have lots of new construction with some of those great names and builders that are still building in the area. Current home prices start in the low fours and they go all the way up to about $1.5 million for some of the custom homes. Finally, on our list of the best communities in Conroe, we have Walden on Lake Conroe. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this one is not in Conroe. It's about 3 miles north, firmly in the town of Montgomery. But it's on Lake Conroe, and the reason that I added it was, number one, I lived here, and number two, it's got something that the other communities do not have, and that is lakefront living. Lake Conroe is a 21,000 acre man-made lake that's become the backyard playground for the greater Houston area. And Walden is its own little slice of heaven. You've got parks, you've got tennis, you've got pools, as well as the hiking and jogging trails. But on top of that, you also have the Walden Yacht Club and Marina. The Yacht Club is a 17,000 square foot building that has several spaces for meetings, private parties, and events, but the crown jewel is the Commodore Dining Room. It has some of the best fine dining in Montgomery County, as well as live music, dancing, and some of the best views of Lake Conroe. There's also the Walden Golf Club, which has been consistently ranked as one of the best private courses in the greater Houston area. I also have a love-hate relationship with the Walden Golf Club. On the one hand, it is a beautiful course, but on the other hand, it's a good thing I'm a great realtor because I am a terrible drone pilot. With all the great things there are to do in Walden, the main attraction is still lakefront living. Unlike the other communities that are more builder-driven, Walden is a more established community with homes that date as far back as the 1970s. There are still custom homes being built both inland and on the shores. There are homes inland on the Walden Peninsula that are fairly moderately priced, starting in the high twos, as well as very affordable condos. But you have lakefront property well into the millions. One benefit of living in the Walden community as opposed to the others is it's a more established community, which means that its property taxes are lower. So both Walden and to a lesser extent Woodforest are a little bit more affordable to live in. You've got a property tax of 2.2% in Walden and 2.6% in Woodforest. If you want to know why that is, I've got another video that explains cost of living and why property taxes are set the way they are that you can check out. Now, if you've never been to Conroe and you're looking at this video considering possibly relocating to the area, these neighborhoods make up the best of the best. If you're from Conroe and you disagree or think that I left a neighborhood out on this list, let me know in the comments below. This video gives you a Cliff Notes version of some of the best of Conroe, but there are a lot of other great neighborhoods to choose from as well. As this channel progresses, I plan on making more specific neighborhood videos to give you a more broad picture of what they look like. But if there's anything you didn't get from this video that you needed to, any questions I didn't answer, feel free to reach out to me at the contact information below. I've helped many families and individuals relocate from around the nation so that they can call Conroe their home, and I'd love to answer any questions that you have and possibly earn your business as well if you're thinking about making a move. If you'd like more information about the city and what it's like to live local, make sure to check out some of the other videos on the Conroe Living Channel. Thanks for watching.